Do you feel like your anxiety is suddenly out of control and you can't explain why? You're not imagining it, and it's not just stress, it's hormonal. Most women blame themselves for how they feel, but it's not about weakness or mental health. This is your body responding to a shift that no one really warned you about. So if you're tired of guessing what's going on with your body, hit the subscribe. I break down the hormone connections every woman deserves to understand. Many women say, I was never an anxious person, and now suddenly I feel like I'm on edge all the time. Here's what's going on. Estrogen and progesterone don't just manage your cycle. They also influence the mood regulating brain chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. And when these hormones drop, it's like your brain's calming cushion just disappears. Your nervous system becomes more reactive, and things that used to feel manageable suddenly feel totally overwhelming. And in elevated cortisol that you get from stress or as a result of poor sleep, you get that wired but tired, constantly on edge feeling. I had a client called Jane who had never experienced anxiety before, and then out of nowhere, she found herself panicking in traffic, struggling to go to sleep. And her doctor said it was just stress, but we traced it back to hormone dips, and once we addressed those, her anxiety eased. So what happens when we go to the doctors to discuss how we're feeling? Well, unfortunately, for many women, they are told their anxiety, it's just in their head. Or worse, they're just prescribed antidepressants and they're not given a full picture of their hormones. And here's why that happens. They might ask for a blood test, but they often come back normal because the blood test is a snapshot of how your blood was at the time the blood was taken. It doesn't show fluctuations or patterns. And hormones can swing wildly day by day in perimenopause, but the standard test is not going to catch that. So the doctor's only option really is often to treat the mood and not the root cause, because no one's identified the root cause. So there is a quick fix, like medication, and it can help some women, but it's not the full answer, it's not the picture. And that's why tracking is so important. You need to become your own data detective, and it will also help your doctor understand your root causes so that your doctor can help you better at your next consultation. So one of the most overlooked clues in hormonal anxiety often starts long before your periods change. So you see, if your cycle is still normal or normalish, you might not realize that the anxiety is actually hormone driven. So you need to look for some physical symptoms. They can sometimes be tight chest or a racing heart, like that palpitation feeling. Or some women describe it as a wave of dread, a feeling. An anxiety that shows up in these cycles is often worse in the mornings and kind of gets better during the day and is kind of fine by evening. So the symptoms that flare before your period or around your mid-cycle when you're ovulating, they might be the ones that are really the start of that trigger. When, as a woman, you start to track your anxiety along with your food and your sleep and your stress, you often start to see a patterns that you might have missed for years. And once you see the pattern, that's where the real change happens. So what makes it worse? Even if you're trying your best, caffeine is a real killer on an empty stomach. It's like lighting a fuse. It spikes that cortisol and it sends your nervous system into absolute overdrive. The same goes for skipping meals, because skipping meals, they crash that blood sugar, which triggers a huge stress response, and boom, you are more anxious. And hitting the gym and overtraining too can have the same effect, because intense exercise can burn out your adrenal glands. Your adrenal glands are the little glands, they're like a tomato size and they sit on top of your kidneys, and they are responsible for creating cortisol. And if you give those a good bashing in the gym, then that can really raise your cortisol even higher. And as we've discussed in many videos, scrolling through your phone at night really can stimulate your brain right at the time when it needs to wind down. But here's the biggie. Not knowing it's hormonal, women end up thinking it's them. They're not coping. and they worry about their capabilities and abilities. I had a client who thought she was doing all the right things. She was going to the gym and working out. She was managing her stress, but her anxiety just would not let up. So we looked at her habits and we found she was skipping breakfast. So we added a protein-rich meal within 30 minutes of waking up, even though she was busy and had to get out of the house to go to work. And her panic attacks started to be much less frequent and much less intense quite quickly. So what can you do? Here's a reset plan to calm that hormonal anxiety from the inside out. Try eating within 60 minutes of waking up and make sure that breakfast is really rich in protein, healthy fats and fiber. Think about having eggs and something alongside it like spinach or avocado. Or look at having porridge or a porridge bowl with lots of nuts and seeds and berries in it, because this stabilizes your blood sugar and it prevents those big cortisol spikes as well. And reduce your caffeine. I know, I hear you saying, but I can't function without my coffee. But you will find that your coffee or your tea in the morning is often a really big anxiety trigger, and you'll be functioning a lot better if we can just change things up a bit. Switch to decaffeinated, or if you can't do that, at least make sure you have all your food first and then have a smaller amount of coffee after that, or your cup of tea. And make sure that you don't have any caffeine by early afternoon. So after lunchtime, then really switch to different drinks. Water is the best thing to drink, really. Another thing you can start doing is to track your symptoms. So to notice how your anxiety lines up with your food, your sleep, and your stress, because this is where the magic happens. You'll start to see a pattern, and that pattern is unique to you. Another thing you can do is to add some things to your lifestyle. Magnesium can help calm the nervous system. You can add sunlight because that boosts serotonin, our happy hormone. You can do some gentle movement because that helps lower cholesterol. That doesn't attack those adrenal glands like a big workout in the gym does. You don't need to have everything all of the time, but all these little additions help just add another notch on the lowering the anxiety gauge to get you back towards where you used to be and your old self. And here's a big one for me, is to prioritize your sleep. Sleep is so important. You prioritized it when looking after small children, and now it's time for you to do the same for yourself. Try your best to go to bed and wake up at the same times every day, even at the weekend, so that you're not suffering what they call social jet lag. That's those late nights on a Friday and Saturday. They really do nuclear your entire week. And by having this pattern, this anchors your circadian rhythm and it really helps to regulate mood. It will help you feel great, I promise you. Want a quick win? Try a magnesium bath at night, or a walk in the sunlight if it's summertime and you live somewhere where it's a warm climate, because these really small shifts really do help create big ripple effects for your mood and your hormones. If you want to decode what's actually triggering your anxiety, download my free symptom decoder cheat sheet. It'll help you spot those hidden patterns. And if you want to talk to other women going through this too, come and join the free Menopause community where we're all in it together. Both these links are in my bio, and next week's video is all about how food affects your mood. You won't want to miss it.